What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's the 2nd of August. We're taking a look this morning over at the CryptoBubbles.net website. We're going to take a look at TradingView.com and look over at Casper briefly this morning. Take a look at Bitcoin, share some of my thoughts, wrap this video up. Welcome to the channel, all of the guys and gals, all of the new subscribers. Appreciate all of 2,500 or so of you guys. What's moving here today? XDC, Maker, KASBONE, all up in the green. Pretty big today. CFX. Do not see Casper on the list here. Once again, pretty cool website, CryptoBubbles.net. What's moving here on the weekly? Looks like HEX is down 45. XDC is up 23. Shiba for the week looks like it's up 5. Bone up 32. CRV down 22. APE, ApeCoin. I really like the ApeCoin logo there. Anyways, let's head over to the charts, guys. Look at Casper. Once again, that was CryptoBubbles.net. So taking a look at Casper, CSPRUSDT daily chart. So I have lost all of my price lines here on the chart. On TradingView, at least they have disappeared for the past couple days. I've been trying to get them back, so I got to run some calculations to get them back, but we could still do a video here for Casper. So let's zoom in a bit, and then we'll move out, and we'll throw some other things on the chart. So we are in this pennant pattern for Casper recently. We had this big break to the upside on the 22nd, taking out some nice highs over in here. A little bit of follow through, although a weak close. We pulled back on the 26th and 27th of July, rallied up again, although on the 28th it was a lower high, and then on the 31st and the 1st, July and August there, we have another higher high. So what we're doing here is well, this was a higher high. We have higher lows, lower highs, higher lows, lower highs. So we're building this pennant pattern here. And you can see we are heading into the apex here. So it's getting close to a big move. The trend is higher for Casper for right now, so I would expect the scale of, if you had a weighting, a bullish or a bearish breakout, the scale is weighted towards the bullish side for Casper. So we'll have to see if that takes place. And the reason why that is we have a solid higher high right here. So we have this big breakout into, we have the higher high right here, and then we have a higher low. So we're in the midst of a change in trend to the upside, and I have talked about that countless times in other videos. You want to look for that higher high, that higher low, and then watch out, because that next leg higher, which would have been this one, could be very strong to the upside. And we still might get that, but we are in this pennant pattern here. And let's see if I can get a line here. That would be the top end, roughly, guys. Not going to be perfect here. I should have drawn this before, but I didn't. Something like that. You could probably add this low down in here. Maybe something like that. Bring this back a little bit. Something along those lines. So you could see we only have, basically, we have the 3rd of August, which would be Thursday, and then we have Friday the 4th. By the time we get to Saturday, we are outside of the apex here, which is the end of this pennant, this triangle here. So we should see some kind of a move in the next couple days, pretty much by the weekend. key is the price going to continue higher, or is it going to get smacked down lower? And we'll talk a little bit more about that once we get over into the Bitcoin chart. So where things are quiet right now, things are consolidating. There is energy building, and it's about to break either, I think, to the upside, but there is a chance, especially if Bitcoin does not hold its rally that it started, that it could break lower. So if we so keep that in mind. There is a move coming for Casper. If we take the fibs here, let's take this swing high here, and then we'll take the swing low. The swing high would be the 23rd of July. The swing low would be the 26th of July. If we get the upward momentum that continues for the breakout out of this pennant pattern, you could see as long as we take out the highs over here, which are right around 42 cents, the 1618 gets you up there to 0.042, excuse me. Target number 1618 Fibonacci level would give you a 0.046 up in here. 2618, 53, 053, 3618, 0.061, which takes you back up to these highs. So if we get a solid Bitcoin breakout, we should see Casper move upward aggressively because it's building up energy and should be hitting these fib levels, excuse me. So that is for what it's worth. And one of these subscribers was talking about, do you think we'll get back up to that 4 level? So if we're using this consolidation here, throwing the fibs up there, you can see that if the price continues higher, then the first fib level 1618 is 0.046. So that gets you up to that. I think it was 4.3 you were talking about, which is basically in between the high of the move and the first fib. So if you think the price is going to continue upward from here, then the answer to your question would be yes, we should hit that. But gotta watch Bitcoin. Things are off to a little bit of an ugly start this morning over in the stock market, as well as the crypto markets are fading. So the stock market's getting ready, and it looks like it's going to be selling off for a little while, if not going sideways. And it looks like the crypto markets are following along, and probably not the greatest, but we'll see what happens here. But that's those levels, guys. If we break to the upside, 1618 is a 4.6, 2618 is a 5.3, 3.6 up there at a 6142, 6.0665 up in there, and that would actually take us above these highs that were put in May. And we could do this if we step back here. We could do this with many highs and lows. We can take the high over here. We could also take the low right in there. So we're basically using the high of the 1st of May and the low of the, I think it's right around the 20th, 21st, 22nd. Let's see here. Yeah, so it would be the July 21st would be the low. So, and this would be a bigger trend here, and the 1618 would take you all the way up 2.09 way up in here. So in the big scheme of things, if you take a step back, we're in a much larger consolidation. So you can take larger consolidations, break them down into smaller time frames, into smaller consolidations, and, you know, essentially smaller breakouts and smaller targets. But if you take a step back, much bigger targets and breakouts. And if you look over at XRP, let's take a look at XRP real quick. So if we get rid of that 70+% candle, we have smaller, try to get my correct tool here. Right here, we have a small wedge down. that led to a breakout. We have a small rising wedge that led to a breakdown. We have, smaller consolidations that lead to, either breakdowns or breakouts to the upside. There is a sell-off that led to a move higher. But if you look at this whole base as one, months and months and months as one big base, you have major resistance at 55, 56 that tried to get broken multiple times and it couldn't. But when the price was ready, we broke out of not only the smaller consolidations, but two, the much larger consolidation, as you can see with this big candle. So keep that in mind on the Casper chart. Taking a look at Bitcoin, guys, we have the smackdown making new lows. Little rising wedge broke to the downside. Nice candle yesterday. Off to a rough start on the 2nd of August here. Closed up 1.6 for Bitcoin. Nice support at 29,143.22. Moved on up, not quite to our 30,141 resistance, but let's see, we hit 30,000, 33. Not quite there, but the market got pushed back down. So we have some supply all up in here. So basically from the 23rd of June up into like the 22nd of June over to the 23rd of July. So we have a decent amount of time up there, and all of that, as we can see by today's candle, is acting as supply. So we'll see if this is just a one-day wonder or maybe just a couple hours this morning, and then we'll maybe got to break back into that 30K range, and then 31 to 34 is my target. So we'll see if that holds. I can tell you that I am very impressed and happy with the way this candle looks here for Bitcoin and XRP. So that is nice. Let's see if it can hold. Let's see if 29,143.22 can hold. So keep your eyes on this little mini pennant pattern, guys, if we are going to break to the downside or break to the upside. And I'll be back with my support and resistance levels for the chart. Like I said, they just disappeared here, which is unfortunate. I don't write them down for all of the things I track. I just keep them on, within the platform, and haven't had a problem until now, and they are all gone. So I had lots of them and I used to follow them. So keep your eye. As you can see, this is a pennant pattern. We're in here, and look for that breakout of this pattern. Something of slight concern is this a big head and shoulders here? Is that going to take us back down to the 2.5 cent range? That is using that example as patterns within patterns, and that is a much bigger pattern. Something else to consider is taking major highs and major lows and throwing fibs up there. And long term, if you're very bullish long term on crypto and Casper, here's your dollar, here's your $12, etc. Casper. So sometimes you got to, one, keep your eye on what's happening today and right now and this week, etc. Two, sometimes you got to kind of take a step out, take a zoom out on the charts, take a step back and look at the bigger picture of the market and Bitcoin, and maybe just leave the noise on the news sites and on Twitter, and just know that over time you'll see these much higher prices for these projects that are doing things, that these coins have utility, and you'll get those much higher prices. Usually takes longer than you think, but it keeps your head out of the noise. And I can tell you that if you take a step back here to XRP, yes, I track this thing constantly. All of these moves, higher highs, higher lows, consolidations, blah, 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 all of this stuff. And then all of a sudden, did any of this matter when, boom, we got the huge breakout and the prices, stair stepping to the upside? So you can get very tied up in all these little candles, but then when you take a zoom out, you get these big breakouts, consolidations, and we'll have to see if the trend does continue higher or not. But the day by day, I mean, look how many candles are in here. This is basically goes from the middle of July all the way to the middle of May in 2022. So that is a lot of days, a lot of candles, a lot of higher highs, lower highs, higher lows, blah, 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 and so on. But this big pattern here, major resistance at 55, 56, and we were talking about that, and that had to break. It did break. So far, it hasn't been back tested, but we did talk about that. So keep your eye on Bitcoin, guys. It had a nice day yesterday, little pullback today. We got to see if it's going to hold or continue its trend to the downside. Casper is in a pennant pattern. Keep your eye on that. I think the scale on the weights are leaning towards a bullish breakout, but if Bitcoin can't continue higher, then that is probably going to get trumped and the move will be lower, at least for the short term. But if you struggle sometimes with the red candles, take a zoom out of the chart and think about, why you're really in these positions. And sometimes you just have to dollar cost average and buy for the long haul. And usually over time, you'll get what you're after. And that might be a much higher, maybe it's a 12 to 24 to $1 or so Casper, but in the right market. We're not in those crazy strong markets right now. Gonna wrap it up, guys. Thanks for hanging around. Thanks for watching. If you are not yet subscribed, go ahead and join us. All links are down in the video description. If you use those links, it does help support the channel, so I appreciate it. All right, guys, take care.